Hello and welcome back to Autism with a Voice. As many of you guys know, starting today we are going to be transitioning into mobility equipment and just giving my finer points of views on them. So today I'm going to be giving you guys my finer points of views of mobility equipment, and later down the road I'll give a introduction on manual wheelchairs. So let's get down to it. So what you can see is both my mobility devices. We got my Permobil M3 and my Pride Victory 9. Now let's go over some perks about the mobility devices. I'm going to try to balance myself out. The perks about these two mobility devices is they run. You guys probably already know that. But let's go over individual perks as it is. Alright? In the Permobil or an electric wheelchair, everything is on hand. And it takes only a quick switch of the switch to go anywhere. And turns are pretty easy to do. But the downside is it doesn't have a lot of room to it. Now, the perks of the Permobil electric wheelchair is it can cant and recline. So one flip of the switch, I can recline. I can recline backwards and forwards and extend my legs. Many people will say that if you still use mobility devices like crutches, then you should not have something this fancy. And in fact, I will tell you that it's perfectly natural to settle with a wheelchair that you feel more comfortable with, or a mobility device that you feel more comfortable with. The reason why I settled with an electric wheelchair is because I have a large back, which requires more assistance. It requires more support. And you can tell with my mobility scooter that sorry for the background noise. There's Brickleberry is on, but yeah. You can tell that there's a short back with the mobility scooter. Now that's pretty bad, but it's great for a few things. And this is kind of made for people who use manual wheelchairs or who have limited mobility but are still able to walk. I'm still able to walk, but like I said, I prefer an electric wheelchair because it provides more back support. And whenever I'm working on a car, my electric wheelchair helps me get under the car and do certain tasks. Now let's move on to the mobility scooter. The mobility scooter has a key system. So if you're the type of person that moves around and gets by moving around, then this is the best option for you because it runs simply. It has a simple function, and the great thing about this setup is you have room on the bottom, and if you wanted to go grocery shopping, you can always grab one of these switches and pull the chair back, so you have more room so you can store groceries and put stuff in the basket. And the great thing about the basket is I can pull it up. I have to hold my phone and pull this up. But yeah, basically if you wanted to use this as a basket, you can. But the downsides to a mobility scooter is the turning radius is completely off. It takes a second for my wheelchair, the Permobil M3, or any electric wheelchair to swivel around. It takes a few seconds to do that with the mobility scooter. And that's the downside with it. I don't like that luxury. And the armrests are so flimsy. Like, a lot of the times I couldn't stand the back support, that I would just be leaning like an old person. And that's just painful to do. But the perks with the mobility scooter is a lot greater. Now, if you wanted to, if you see this thing right here, you can connect a mobility scooter trailer and go shopping, increasing your capacity. I've even had friends who put children trailers, the same trailers that you would tow around children in on your bike, to it, and they say that it's wonderful and it increases their carrying capabilities. So this is one thing that you should really look at going for. Sorry, I'm flipping the phone around. Now, in the terms of horns, these two are pretty loud. Not loud, but you know. On the Pride mobility scooter, the horn is right here and here. So basically, yeah. And the Permobil, it's any ordinary electric wheelchair. It's right in this area of the Joy-Con, and that makes a loud noise. That, I think the wheelchair makes a louder noise. But my problem with electric wheelchairs and mobility scooters is when you need to hit the horn, you just hear a loud buzzing noise or a beeping noise. And these it's not loud enough to alert people. That's the thing I don't like about them. They don't provide that ability to assert power. Now, I can't tell how fast this mobility scooter goes. I believe it goes between one 4.5 to 6 miles. The range is, on this one, it's around 10 miles, which is decent. And the range on the Permobil is around 26 miles. So, a big difference. The downside with using an electric wheelchair is, I would have to say, there's a few downsides to it, but all around, like, I think the downside is it depends on what type of drive setting. My Permobil M3 uses a mid-wheel drive system, and actually I'm going to get into it because I'm a little uncomfortable in this mobility scooter. But the thing is about it is it's more comfortable. Shoot, I forgot where I was at. Oh yeah, the downside with these devices is the customization of them. My electric wheelchair has all types of customization, so does the mobility scooter, but they're limited. And I like them, but they suck when it comes down to customizations, because with Permobil you have to go to an equipment specialist and order it, or you have to go to a certain retailer to order it, and you have to place in all these codes that are just a waste of time. And I have nothing against Permobil. I love Permobil because this wheelchair feels comfortable and it makes my work easier to do. There's nothing against my Permobil M3. I love this wheelchair, but I wish they would make getting items or customizations for it a lot easier to do, especially for people who buy them used or get them donated, because then it just makes it easier to do. Pride, you can go on their website and buy anything for it. Like this is an 11-year-old wheelchair and it's still running. Now, let's go over a few more perks about the two wheelchairs, about the two devices. So, if you needed to change the battery, you have to unscrew the back of this and reach in there to get them changed. I haven't attempted to change the batteries on this because it's hard. And to change the batteries on the Pride mobility scooter is a lot easier than you think, because then all you have to do is just pull that lid off, access the batteries, work on the batteries, and that's it. Bada boom, bada boom. I like this system a lot more, and it's easy to use. So far, in the terms of storage and the capabilities, the mobility scooter wins, but the accessories and the comfortabilities of the electric wheelchair is greater. This wheelchair feels more comfortable, and I feel like I can get farther with it. So yeah, I would have to say that it depends on your preference in the terms of mobility devices. You can go with a Pride mobility scooter. You can go with a mobility scooter, and Pride makes four-wheel Pride Victory 9s. They make those, and they're fun to use. But at the end, this is more fun to use, and this helps get farther out there. So yeah, thank you for tuning in, and I'll have another video out for you soon on comparing how fast these two go. So for next time, see ya. Bye bye.